Hi, Neil here with Covers Camo, your source for custom seat covers. Today, we're going over the install on the 2020 Toyota Tundra crew cab. So it's front and rear seats that we're going to show you. And the front seats are buckets with a hard console, rear seat 60/40 split bench with the center armrest coming down. Really nice covers in here. And again, we're going to show you each step, how to put these seat covers on. Let's do this. Let's get started now on this 2020 Toyota Tundra install. This Tundra here is buckets with a hard console for the front seats. The rear seat, we'll show you that in a little bit, but it's a 60/40 split bench with an armrest that folds down, crew cab. So we'll first start and show you the hard console lid cover right here. So there's gonna be a cover going over here. And then we'll show you the driver bucket seat, backrest, bottom, headrest. Passenger seat's gonna install the same, and then we'll show you the rear seats last. So again, on this console cover here, you're gonna want to open up there's these little Velcro straps right here. Now it's always nice to have a pair of gloves when you're doing this install. As you're dealing with the Velcro and pushing seat covers into the seats there, it can be a little rough on your hands, so it's nice to have some gloves handy. Okay, so we're gonna get these Velcro pieces. There's three of them. Three of these Velcro pieces loosened up. Okay, now the front side is gonna have a little bit of an elastic. Now, I'm actually gonna take my gloves off for this part because I need to feel this a little bit better. Okay, so we're gonna fit this over like that. There is a cutout here for that section where your cell phone would go. Okay, I have that back corner hooked on. I have these two front corners hooked on as well. Now we need to get this corner over here hooked on. Gonna bring that that driver's backrest back a little bit, so then give myself a little bit more room to work with right there. Okay, so we're gonna get that pulled around a little bit. Now, before I start putting these Velcro straps on, like fastening them on to each other, I'm gonna just make sure that everything is looking good around the corners here, that I don't need to rotate it or anything like that. But that's looking really good right there. There's that cutout there, so that's lining up perfect right there. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is do these Velcro straps. Take this top one right here, and you don't need to pull super hard, just enough to snug it up right there. Okay, there's the second one. Now here's this third one down here. Okay, sweet. So those three are done now. That console covers on, looking nice and snug fit. The corners are looking good right there. So that section is done. Now it's time to move on to the driver backrest. So I'm gonna grab the driver seat. We're actually gonna first do the driver bottom as the first piece that we do here. So we'll grab that piece now. We're gonna do the driver bottom section now. Now the driver bottom looks kind of like this right here. There is gonna be, here's the foam backing on the underside right there. Now this particular driver bottom had a driver MOLLE pocket sewn on, as well as the driver side pistol holster. A lot of the times the driver bottom is labeled driver's bottom, okay? And the other thing to identify it that I use is the inside of the driver bottom is a lot deeper right there. The outside, so where I'm standing right here, the outside gets a lot more narrow and looks like that on the inside right there. So that's another way to identify it. Okay, so that's gonna go down here. Now before we start installing, we actually need to go on the back side of this seat and release, there's a felt flap that we need to release. So we'll show you how to do that. What we're gonna do now is reach underneath. Here, there's this felt flap right here that will actually release and make it a lot easier to install the seat covers. There's these two little elastic straps that are these hooks, or that go up and go onto hooks, and you just need to push underneath and they just release like that. Okay, so they're just lightly hooked on, and you just release those, and now we can push that seat cover through. We're gonna do this driver bottom now that we've released that felt on the back. And what we're gonna do first thing is that these come tied in knots. Just undo those knots so then they're loose like this, okay? So those strings are not free. And then we're gonna take these 3 straps and pull them back like this here before we start pushing it through. We're gonna get this cover positioned here. And there we go, just get it around the seat. On this side, I'll show you in a second, we're gonna use a plastic trim tool to push in the cover right there. I'm gonna take this string right here and just pass it on the inside, on the inside of the seat, but in between the seat and the hard console right there. Just pass that back. Right now, we'll tie that up later. Okay, so what we're gonna do now that we have this around these front corners, that's looking good, about the position where I want it right there. Now what we're gonna do is take this end of the seat cover and push it through. This is definitely a section that's good to have gloves because it gets really tight in here. And there's Velcro, and again, this seat's just super tight. So I am pushing that through right there. There we go. Okay, so you're just pushing that through like that. You can take these straps and push those through as well. We're gonna go to the back side there in a second and grab those. Now you do have an airbag cable on the back side of this seat in there. So you wanna be careful as you're pushing back, not to, if you feel some resistance from a cable, don't push through that. Just kind of stop and you'll see it on the back side, and we'll work around it. There now. Okay, now that we got that through right there, we're gonna move to the back side. I'll show you that back angle, and then we're gonna show you this side angle with what we do on this side here. This is that cable I was talking about right here. You wanna avoid putting pressure on that or pulling on this cable right here. That's for your side airbags. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pull these straps through the rest of the way. And grab this end of the cover. Just give that a little bit of a pull right there. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just gonna be gentle as I work around these cables for your airbag. Pulling that a little bit back, but again, not too hard or fast, just to make sure I'm gentle around that cable right there. Okay, once I have that pulled back a little bit, just to where it's kind of feeling snug, right there. what we can do now is we're gonna check the front side. We're gonna do the side, the outside section, and then we're gonna come back and do these straps after we've tied up this string. So the string is really the next section that we're gonna do. What we're gonna do on this side right here is we need to tuck this fabric on the inside of it here. So we're gonna push that in right there like that. Okay, so then that's looking good there. Just gonna see if I can get that fabric tucked underneath a little bit more. Okay, that's looking good there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this string and it needs to pass through the seat and then go around the back side right here. So this one, what you have to do is take the seat cushion and kind of pull it like this right here. And we're gonna see if we can find a gap to pass this string on the inside right there. So then it passes down. Seemed like I found a gap there. We're just gonna pass this down. Okay, so now just reaching up, I can feel the string. I was just reaching up on the inside of that, and now here's the string right there. So now we have the string passed through in between the seat cushion and this plastic trim. It's going straight down right there. So then what we can do is we can take this string, go around the back side, and we're gonna tie it off back over there. And this side is finished out right there with that. Also, one tip that I didn't mention earlier that you want to do when you're doing this seat on the driver seat, this is a driver electric or power seat, you want to raise it up as high as you can go to give yourself enough space to work underneath here. Now, what we've done is that string that I just passed through on this side right here, I've passed that through, and now instead of going all the way around, now you could go around the outside of these sections, right? But I'm actually going on the inside. So there's this metal hinge right here. It's probably a little dark underneath here for you to see, but there's a metal hinge right there, and I'm going on the inside of that. So before that, right there on both sides. So, and then I'm just gonna take this string and tie these two pieces of string together here. And so what I'll do is I will tie a loop in one side, so like a little noose right here. Okay, so we got a loop right there. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this string right here and go around that noose. Okay, like that. And that allows me to then kind of tighten this string up. And again, when I want to tighten this, I'm not gonna crank super hard on this because it just needs to be snug fit. Doesn't need to be super tight on this string here. And when I do that, instead of pulling straight across like super hard at a 90-degree angle, what I like to do is take this inside one and just kind of pull straight back on it to pull some of the slack out. Pull straight back like that, and then take the slack out, and then tie this up right here. Okay, and then I'm just tying that off right there. Now I'm gonna grab a light, and we're just gonna see if we can show you a little bit closer on the location of where I tied that off underneath there. I went in front of these hinge pieces. Here's where that string is, guys. It's actually in front of this hinge. There's a metal hinge to the seat right here. And what I've done is I've passed it on the front side of that hinge. And so it pretty much goes straight across to the other string right there.
And that's the location of where I ended up tying this one off. This extra stuff right here, you can just tuck that into your seat, into a spring. Just gonna get it out of the way. And that'll finish up the string section. Now it's time to do these straps to buckles. The first one is this middle strap right here. Now this middle strap goes down to a bar and then back to itself. So this is its buckle that it'll finish out at. So again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go underneath to a solid spring or bar underneath here. Now again, you wanna choose a bar that is, well, pretty much you just wanna avoid any kind of electrical cables or cords underneath here in general. So that way you're not putting pressure or tension on anything that you shouldn't be doing. So I just went, there's a metal spring underneath here that I went to. And that metal spring, or it feels just like a bar, kind of a curved bar underneath here. And you just go to that right there. And then I'm going back to itself right here. And we're gonna go through this. So this is how all the buckles work. You go through that middle slot and then you go through that outside slot. Right there, like that, okay? And then that will cinch up the middle section. And that'll make sure that that middle doesn't ever slide forward. A lot of seat covers that don't have this, they end up sliding around on your seat, and this really locks it into place and gets that secured down. Okay, perfect. So that middle one's done now. And again, you could take any of this extra and tuck it up underneath the seat. We'll do that in a little bit. But these outside straps, these are the next ones. You want to take these and now pass them up to the front because their buckles are up on the front side of the seat cover. So when I do this, I'm gonna go above this motor right here that moves the seat up and down. I'm gonna go above that and try to go above any cables and cords as well. So that way when I'm tightening the seat down, it's not putting tension or pressure on any cords or cables. Same thing for this one right here. I am going to take this and try to go above any of these cables right here. And we're gonna pass this up to the front buckle up there, and then I'll show you, once you pass this up as far as you can go right there, go around to the other side and grab them from the other side. We'll show you that. Now that you've passed these straps up right here from the back side, what we need to do now is put them through these buckles like this. And so here's this first one right here. I'm gonna do, put that through right there, and then cinch it down. And again, you're doing that buckle the same way that I showed you from before. You go in through the middle slot and then out through the outside slot. And now what I like to do too is, as I'm cinching that down, I like to take another hand and push from the top, kind of cinch that down a little bit. Press the seat just a little bit more right there. Okay, perfect. And then you just take that extra and just tuck it up underneath the seat. We're doing the driver backrest now. First thing that you need to do is take out the headrest. So they're just a simple little button on these Toyotas that you press and headrests come right out. So we're gonna set that to the side. Grab the driver backrest cover. Okay, now I know this is the driver backrest. The main thing is that there is an outside side airbag section right here. So this is if the airbag ever needs to deploy, can blow out right through there. And the side airbag, they're always on the outside. So if you ever got hit on the side there, that's the airbags deploy right there. So I know that's the driver backrest. It's on the outside right there. There's gonna be headrest cutouts. Now this one too was labeled. Not all the pieces are labeled, so I don't always rely on the labels. I try to show you in these install videos how to identify them without that, but this one did have a label, driver's backrest. And so this one has a special ops package on it as well. So we'll show you some more videos of that, but special ops package option. It's nice option. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is, this is gonna cover over your rear seat, or your rear seat cover, or sorry, excuse me. This is gonna cover over your rear seat pockets. So if you have anything in your pockets, be sure to pull those out because it's gonna cover them right now. If you do have pockets in your truck. So what we're gonna do now is pull this over. Pretty simple, this backrest, definitely less steps than the bottoms. And we're gonna just kind of pull that over, and then this felt right here, what we're gonna do is once we get this into position, that felt is gonna push through and then stick down to the driver bottom. That's why we needed to do this bottom section first, was because it has Velcro on the top side that this felt right here sticks to, okay? So what we're gonna do now is just start getting in here and getting everything figured out with pulling it over. These Tundras have these recessed headrests, meaning the headrests are recessed into the seat a little bit more, and there's these large shoulders. That's why you really got to go with a custom fit seat cover like this if you want it to fit nice and tight. So we're getting this pulled over. Okay, that's looking good there. Now what I'm gonna do is, before I push this through right here, we're gonna do these headrest posts up here, and I'll show you that section, kind of a close-up. We're doing these headrest post sections right here on the driver backrest. Really, to do these, you just take this trim tool right here and you just fit it around so it's pre-cut out for you. Super simple. You just pull those around, and that's how those should finish out, okay? They need to tuck underneath that plastic section. That's really how you do those. We're taking this front side of the seat cover now and pushing this through right here. And you're gonna see that there is a slit right here. And that's for that airbag cable that comes through the seat. And so as you're pushing this through, you wanna make sure this goes on the outside of the cable. And this is on the inside of the cable as you're pushing that in. And really, you can kind of see that a lot better once you get to the back side back there. But we'll just get it pushed through most of the way, so that way we can move around to the back side and then get it stuck on. Okay, I think I have enough pushed through. I'll go around to the back side now and we'll show you sticking it down. Now what you're gonna wanna do is take this felt and push it and pull it through a little bit more. Here's this other inside one. I got that pulled through. Then this is the one I was talking about right here that needs to go on the outside of the airbag cable. Again, there's the cable coming right here from underneath the seat, going up to the backrest, and there's that slit. Okay, so that's why that's created right there. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is just pull on that. Make sure it's nice and snug, and then we're gonna stick it down. Okay, so I gave it a nice pull right there as well, and right there as well. Okay, now you wanna check before you finish everything out right here, you wanna check the front and make sure everything's pulled across evenly. You have it smoothed out as best as possible. So I ran up to the front, checked the front, and the front's looking really smooth, nice and tight. Really good up there. So now we're ready just to kind of seal this up. So what I do is I just tuck this up kind of halfway like that. The front side of this is stuck to that Velcro, but I just kind of tuck it in right here, And then we're gonna take this back felt right here, take this down and then hook these back on, these hooks back onto those elastic straps back onto the hooks underneath. So I'm just reach underneath, there's just these little plastic hooks. You just hook right onto that. Okay, so that's good there. Now what we're gonna do is take this back side of the seat cover right there and take this and just pull it nice and tight and stick it down right there like that. Okay, perfect. Last section to do is the outside airbag section, so I'll show you that view. Now the airbag section right here, there's 3 Velcro tabs you need to pull together like this and stick those down. Perfect. Okay, next section is to do the headrest cover. So the headrest we had removed earlier, and now what we need to do is get this cover on top of it. Now the front side of the cover, you can kind of get it from the shape, but the front side is gonna be this loop Velcro. Sorry, the hook Velcro, which is the rough side, the rough Velcro right here. So that's the hook stuff. And that's gonna be on the front right here. So that's the front side. And we're just gonna fit this over. Now, big thing when you're doing headrest covers is to compress the headrest as you're putting it on, because it goes a lot better if you do that. So what you're gonna do is put it on a seat, or you could even do this on a harder surface. So you could put this, like bring it in and do it on your carpet or something like that. And compress this headrest. So you see I'm pushing with my thumb down onto the headrest cushion, squeezing that in as I do that. There we go, like that, right there. And we'll kind of rotate this around to make sure everything is laying flat. Then you need to get these little bottom sections pulled out right there. Okay, so you can see that the whole thing needs to be kind of shifted a little bit more to get this to fit a little bit better. So what we're gonna do is shift this side down. Some people will install these on the seat back inside there, but I think it's a lot easier to adjust the cover by holding it like this and just compressing the cushion of the headrest as you do it. Okay, perfect. So that's looking a lot better right there. You can see. Now what we need to do is we just need to take this Velcro, just stick that on to the bottom right there. Okay. So that sticks on right there. These get tucked in right there. That looks good. Okay, so just kind of give you an overall picture. That's what the bottom should look like when you're finished out. Here's the sides. There's kind of the front side right there. Top. So everything's covered. Looks really nice. Now what we're gonna do is just get this back in the headrest post onto the seat. Okay, perfect. So that driver backrest, bottom section, headrest, those are all done. And you're gonna repeat all those same steps for the passenger seat. The passenger bottom is actually a little bit easier because you're not dealing with as much electrical controls. At least on this particular truck, it had a manual side over there. So it's a little bit easier in that regard, but everything else is pretty much exactly the same that we just did over here. So you just repeat those same steps. Now we're gonna move to the back row. So the back seat on this Tundra is on the crew cab here, is a 60-40 split bench seat. So how that works is there's a 60 section that folds up like this, right here, okay? And then there's the 40 section over here, that's gonna fold up as well. And now these backrests, these are stuck to the back there and are not gonna fold forward, but there's still a split seat right there. And then also this armrest folds down right there, okay? So we're gonna go through all those steps now, how to put the seat covers on. But the first thing that you need to do is take the headrests out. And so these headrests, there's just two little buttons that you push on the sides there. We're gonna take this one out as well. Okay, and we're just gonna get those out of the way. We're gonna show you this 60 section backrest first. Now this has a seat belt right here, and a really common question that I get is that people start installing the seat cover over the seat belt. Here's the seat cover. And what we need to do is take the seat belt out like this and slide the seat cover underneath it, okay? So that's gonna be how we avoid trapping the seat belt in there. And now what we're gonna do is just start getting this over the seat here. How this attaches on is there's gonna be these straps these straps are gonna slide down the back side of the seat down to buckles and then cinch onto the buckles, okay? So first thing you need to do is take these straps, pull them out to the front, there. Then we're gonna take this piece of Velcro, open that up, let me close that back up now. That goes around the seat belt right there. This section right here is for the child seat attachments. Same right there. Now this is for the armrest. This is gonna open up like that. Fold that armrest down, push that in right here. And that Velcro is gonna attach back to itself. Couple different sections of where it's gonna attach. There's the side piece, just got that one attached on. And then there's a bottom section too. Okay, got that all connected on too, right there. Now that's your inner lining right there for that armrest. That's how that's gonna work. Right there, that's that inner lining, and then we're gonna have an armrest cover as well, and that way when you push that in, everything is covered on that inner lining. Really like how that works there. Okay, so now that that's done there, we're gonna take these headrest post sections and get them around the headrest, and we're gonna use the trim tool to do that. And this kind of just stretches it, gets it around. These are a little tight, but they'll go on after you just work it on there. Okay, so there's one right there. You can see that's how it should finish out. get this one on now. Okay, perfect. So that's those two are done there. Now we're gonna take these headrest posts and get these around as well. Okay, perfect. So these are squared out a little bit more compared to the other side. Those are rounded. And so the cutout there is squared to match up with that. Perfect. Okay, so those headrest posts are done. Now what we're gonna do is fit this on a little bit more before we pass the straps down. Get that corner done there. There we go. Okay, now we got that corner on right there as well. That's good. Gonna tuck this in. This elastic right here. There's another elastic on the other side. We're gonna push those both back and they're gonna end up tying to themselves or tying to each other. Now, if you need a little bit more length, I always use a little bit of string from the driver passenger bottoms to tie them together. But that's what these elastics are for, if you're wondering about that. We're gonna push that we're gonna push that to the back right now. Right there. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the front side of this cover. We're gonna push this through the seat. Now, there are gonna be some child seat attachments, okay? And you need to make sure that you don't cover those up, okay? So the cover's gonna go up above those. For this section, I'm gonna push that up and reach underneath here. Okay, we'll kind of finish this out here in a second, but I'm gonna get this one started as well over here. Push this through here. May want to use gloves for this section as well, because You can scrape your hands on some of these child seat attachment bars underneath here. Okay, I'm gonna pull this out a little bit more. Right there. Okay, now we're gonna try to change views, and I'll show you underneath here how these are, how that works with the child seat attachments, how that fits in down here. I've taken this middle section right here, and I've pushed that up above this bar right here. That's really important, is you gotta go above the bar, and then we're gonna attach those straps on here in a second. But I wanna make sure that the cover, it goes above that there for you, okay? Now the same thing over here, when you're doing these, you need to go above this bar, which also has the child seat bars on it. So kind of see that bar right there? That is where the child seats would attach onto, and you need to go up above that. If you don't, you're gonna cover over your child seat bars, and that is not gonna work for you. So, and it doesn't install as nice too. So again, go up above this, pushing it in. So I'll show you on this side right here. That's how you do that, is you're gonna take this cover, and you're gonna go push it up and above that. With the cover and those buckles. So we're going above that bar, but then going above the child seat attachment section. Okay, good. So now I've pushed that back behind there. And so now we are ready to pass our straps down the back side and start putting them through these buckles right here. We're taking these straps and passing them down on the back side of the seat now. And this can be a little tricky because it's just a tight spot right here. So you kind of have to feel as you're dropping this down to see if it's dropping or if it's just getting caught. So I've dropped that one down, and I could feel it kind of just gravity pulling on it the whole time. You can do the same thing with this one right here. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that felt like it dropped down the whole time. Now, if you're really struggling with this section, one thing you can do is take a rod, like a wire rod, and tape the end there, and then push that rod down the back side, and that will kind of get it pushed through that section. So I've done that a couple times if it's really tight and if we're struggling with it, but oftentimes I can get them to pass through without too much of a headache. Might come back to that one right there. It's a little tight. Okay, yeah, looks like it was getting caught on some kind of felt on the back of the cab there. So you just gotta push it in a little bit deeper with your fingers there, and then push that down. Okay, perfect. So that passed down there. Now, two left over here. Okay, then here's this one, this last one here. Perfect, okay. So those have all passed down now. Now what we need to do is go on the bottom now, feed them through the buckles, and cinch them up. I've passed that strap down the back side, and again, I'm going above this bar to make sure that when we connect with this buckle right here, you can go through that middle strap and the middle slot, then outside slot, just like we did on the front seats. Like that right there. So we're just gonna get that started right there, just barely. And then we're gonna do the same thing with this one. There we go. Okay, now we got that started. Now again, we're gonna push that through. And again, I could have done those buckles as it was pushed through already, but I just wanted to make sure you saw a good view of how those buckles go on. Because again, the finish cover needs to go above that bar right there. So make sure you're not going on the bottom of that. Okay, we're just gonna get those cinched up a little bit. Nothing too tight for right now. Just gonna get them started. And we can come back and finish those out later. Now, we're gonna do the same thing with these over here. So we're take those straps and go to the buckles. And this gets a little tight in here, so I'm actually gonna take my watch off because it gets a little tight under here. Okay, so now one tip is that you wanna make sure that you're not crisscrossing too much to your buckles, and that your buckle is coming straight down from where it needs to. So often I'll kind of pull on this buckle or pull on this strap right here. So I got a strap in this hand right here, and I'm pulling down on it, and I check up above and see, okay, is that the next strap that needs to go to this buckle here? And I did check that, and it is. So we're good there. We're gonna come through, just cinch up this buckle, just like we were doing before, same method here. Again, the main thing that I want you to focus on here is that we're going above this bar and the child seat attachments. If you try to do it around it, again, it's not gonna work so good. Again, going through the middle slot and the outside slot on these. Okay, so I got that one done there. For this one right here, I can actually fit my arm in on the other side of the seat. That's actually gonna help me quite a bit to do this one. I don't have to do it with this left hand. I can reach in with my right hand on the other side. Okay, there's just one more strap to buckle to do. Right here. And again, I've gone up and above this child seat bar right there. Okay, got that cinched up now. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this seat down and see how level everything is looking on the front side before I do anything else. Now that we've checked the front to see, okay, how everything's lining up, things are looking really good. Now we're ready just to finish cinching all of those up just a little bit more. Again, you don't want to do them too tight, but you just want it to be snug against the backrest here. So we can get a little bit more slack by just tightening them up a little bit. One little trick for you too is on this side right here, what I've done is I've pushed the seat cushion in a little bit more, just so then it kind of covers that seat cushion. Sometimes that cushion can, as the seat cover tightens up around that seat cushion, you can kind of get a little bit of a bulge in the seat cushion. But if you just kind of push that cushion in just a little bit, then the seat cover will cover it and then tighten around it as well. It'll look a lot better. So So now time to just tighten those up on the backside, so I'll finish those out. What I've done is I've taken some extra, not that much extra string from the driver bottom cover that had some extra string on it, and just snipped off some extra string. And what we're gonna do now is these two elastics, I wanna show you these. There's two elastics, again, one on the outside here and the one on the other side that I was referring to earlier. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie those two elastics off to each other, and that's gonna help keep these corners in nice and tight. So I've tied that string to one elastic. Now I'm reaching underneath, and here's that other elastic right here. What I'm gonna do now is just reach across and tie these to each other. Sometimes these elastics have enough length to them to tie them to each other, but this one right here, it was pretty close, and it's a little bit easier if I have some extra length. So I'm I've met them together now, and now just tying this string off. Okay, perfect. So I got that string tied together. There's those elastics down there, and that'll now hold those sides in, kind of keep those sides back. We'll fold that down. I'll show you here. So again, it just pulls that side in right there, nice and tight, and same thing over here. Pulls that side around like that. So it keeps it nice and snug on the sides right there. Now, the 60 section backrest is done, minus the armrest. So we're gonna do the armrest cover next here. We're doing the rear armrest section now. So we're taking this Velcro, opening it up here. This is gonna be the top because it has the cutout for the cup holders here and the little pull tab section right there. I'll fit this over. Before I get that too tight, I'm gonna pull this pull tab through right there. Okay, that looks nice. Now we just need to reattach this Velcro right here. We'll do this side Velcro here first. So that side just lays flat, and then you pull it over on top of it right there. And this is gonna push down and into the seat section there. Just kind of getting that to fit around the back corner there. It takes a second for it to kind of lay flat. You got to work it a little bit, but that's going good there. Okay, so I think I have that pulled up as far as I need to, and now I'm just going to take this top Velcro and just pull that over on top of it. Perfect. Okay. Good. So now we have that. That's gonna push in right there. It's gonna be a little bit tighter now that you have this seat cover material in there, so you can kind of see that. It'll still push in, but you definitely gotta work a little bit more, and I could probably give it a little bit more slack there by not doing this Velcro as tight down here. That's gonna give it a little bit more slack when it pushes in right there. Okay, so that armrest is done there. That looks good, all covered. Okay, now we're gonna move to the 60 section bottom. We're doing this 60 section bottom now. The backrest is all done, the armrest is done there. And so what we're gonna do is take the cover out. Here's the cover, okay? And it's a pretty simple install, really. There's just Velcro right here on the rough Velcro and then the soft Velcro. Oh, well, no, just rough Velcro, because the rough Velcro is gonna go, the whole thing's gonna slide over this seat and then just stick down to the seat, because there is felt, like kind of this carpet felt underneath here, and sticks really good to that. So I'm just gonna get this seat up, start fitting it over. I may have to compress this seat a little bit. So far it's pretty tight fit. Okay, the hardest part is just getting that started over that first section. Then you can start to pull that down. I like just going back and forth with it. Okay, now that we have that pulled on top, we just need to finish snugging it over, and then we're gonna stick it down to this cloth. There's gonna be a cutout around your handle section here. Now that I've pulled that down and pushed this on right here, now we can take this Velcro right here, bring it up, and stick it on. And it comes pretty close to matching up right here. You know, pretty close to touching almost the other side right there, but not quite. So again, just taking this, pulling it up. Let me give that just one more pull. Sticking it on. that cloth. You should get a nice, good hold onto there. And that looks awesome. That's all just how it should look right there. All covered, looking really good. Okay, so that's the 60 section bottom. Now we're gonna show you the headrest. We're gonna do the middle headrest, the rear middle headrest first. So we have it removed already. And now we have the middle headrest cover right here. So we're looking at this middle headrest cover, and so how you know front from back is really looking at the seams, okay? So this, you see this headrest, so this is the front side right here, and you see there's this seam that goes up and curves around right there. So you have kind of one large fabric section on the original upholstery that goes right there. Now, the seat cover, this particular cover right here, is actually gonna follow that same pattern. So you look right here, there's this same seam that goes up and around right there. So that's the front side right there. So what we're gonna do, now that we know the front, we're gonna start getting this guy on, and you just kind of hook one side, get it started, hold that down, and pull that up and over like that. Get this fit around here, like that. Okay, perfect. So, there is that middle headrest right there. You can just put that back into place. Right there, just elastics that hold it around there like that. And nice cover right there. Now we're gonna move on to the outside headrest. And this outside headrest is gonna install the same as the other outside headrest over there. So I always flip these things around front and back. Here's the front though, because we haven't removed that one, so I was able to tell. So here's the front, same type of deal where there's that seam going up right here on the front side. So there's a larger fabric piece on that front. Comes up right there and that seam goes right there. So that's the front. In case if you take these off, again, it's kind of tricky to tell which one's the front and back on these particular Tundra headrests. So we're gonna do the same thing where we line this up, and this one doesn't have like a seam for us to follow, but the other way to tell that it's the front on these headrests is that this rough Velcro, this hook Velcro right here, that's gonna be on the front side right there, okay? So that's, the hook Velcro is gonna go towards the front, and we're gonna start getting this on. I'm gonna compress that down a little bit as I push this on right there. Okay, so now that I have it fit over, I'm taking these bottom little flaps and hooking those around underneath there And then we're gonna take these two and push them together. I'm just gonna make sure that I got this how I want it. Rolling this cover forward a little bit more to make sure I get good front coverage. You really don't see the back as much, so if you have to slide extra coverage anywhere, I usually slide it towards the front. Okay, so now we're gonna take this right here, stick that together like that, right there, okay? Perfect, so there's the headrest cover, like that. There's the front, side, back, and bottom, right there. Okay, so that's all covered up like that. That looks really good. And now we can put that back in, right here. Okay, perfect. So that looks great. So headrest is done there. The full 60 section is done now. Now really for the 40 section over here, you're gonna repeat those same steps that you did on this backrest. The headrest is the same, also the bottom is the same as this 60 section. The only thing that's different on that 40 is that it doesn't have this center armrest. And so really you can just repeat those same steps over there and you're gonna be all good to go. And that's the rest of this install video for this 2020 Toyota Tundra. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching. Again, this has been Neil here with Covers Camo, your source for custom seat covers. If you want to see more install videos or you need some more tips and tricks, or maybe you're still trying to pick out a set for your vehicle, you can go to coversandcamo.com. That's a place to view more photos and videos like this. But then also our contact information will be there, and you can reach out to us if you have questions on your install. You see more at coversandcamo.com. Thanks.